The Last Word with Stan Collymore.
Stan Collymore! Oh, yes!
Telling it as it is.
And instead of tweeting and putting on Instagram that Collymore's this and Collymore's that, come and tell us.
No holes barred. Pure, unadulterated Collymore.
And Stan Collymore strikes.
I am absolutely delighted to be joined on the Last Word with Stan Collymore by a man that's had an incredible 2 or 3 months, an incredible 6 or 7 years in English football. Adrián, Liverpool goalkeeper, joins us. Adrián, welcome. We have a lot in common because I love the city that you played in Seville. I've got great friends in Seville. I visit Seville often. And I go to the Benito Villamarín often. Mm-hmm. Beautiful stadium now. It's been renovated. Real Betis, of course. Let's start at Betis, because when I spend time in Seville, it's not one of the Spanish cities, I would guess, like Barcelona or Madrid, where English is not spoken so much. One of the great things I love about walking around Seville is that I have to speak Spanish. Most people speak Spanish alone. When you were at Real Betis 2011-2012, having played in the C team, the B team, and you know that Premier League clubs are interested in you, as a footballer, as a goalkeeper, do you learn English then, or do you learn English when you move?
I started learning in the university when I started studying there in Seville, but we studied like a books, doing exam, writing.
Classic English.
Yeah, classic English.
Not football English, which is very
totally
different.
And I started proper English, football English, when I came to West and to London, because also the pronunciation, the listening, the speaking is totally different. I was expecting speak more English than I thought, but no, the pronunciation, as I say, the listening when you lose the conversation is so difficult.
You're in one of the world's great cities. The sunshine, great culture, great food. 2 great football clubs, of course, Sevilla and Betis. Is it automatic that one day, if you play for Betis or Sevilla, that you have to move either to Real Madrid or Barcelona or Spain, Italy, Germany or England? When you're a young player now in Spain, is it automatic that you move to the Premier League someday?
Yeah, I think to play in the Premier League is a dream for all the players. Also, you're asking all the Spanish players that play in La Liga, the dream is to come here for sure.
But La Liga is the best league in the world, no?
Yeah, because it's Real Madrid and Barcelona. But for me, the most competitive is here, the Premier League. So my first dream was to play for Real Betis, because I played 16 years in the academy and then the first team. But then after that, I did a great season there. We got the European position in a season that we was playing many academy players. So in that moment, I finished my contract there, and West Ham sent me a great offer to come here and to give me the first step to start my career in the Premier League. Huh?
When you get an offer from an English club to come into the Premier League, as a foreign player, do you look at the location? Because 25 years ago, players would go to Liverpool and Manchester, or maybe Newcastle, or maybe the Midlands, the traditional parts of England. Not so much London. Was London a big factor for you when you moved from Betis to West Ham?
Was one of them. Obviously, London is a massive city, so it will be easy to adapt to that kind of city. As you say, it's a big one. Many Spanish and Latin people around there. So for me, it was an easy decision in that moment. No easy in the time of the team, because I was expecting to continue in Real Betis, but life of footballer like this, and that step I think gave me a big improvement in my career and also like a person, because I start learning more English. Now I still improving, but I can speak fluent. So I think it was like a goalkeeper a step forward, and also like personally.
How important when you move to a country and you have a big city like London, is that Spanish community, Spanish-speaking community. Do they help you settle in? Do you go to restaurants and make new friends, Spaniards that live in London? Does that help you to settle into the culture?
Not to be fair, because we spent long time training also with the team. So in that moment, just Momo Diame was playing at West Ham and he was speaking a bit Spanish. So he was my best friend in the beginning. But as you say, when you go to a place that you need to learn English, is the best way to learn that language, no? So I need to hurry up in my language. Also in the team, you need to learn the basic in football. But it was a good thing for me to come and to say, listen, nobody is speaking Spanish here in the team, just one player to have to learn quick.
How difficult was it a transition at West Ham United? 6 years, they were at the Upton Park, one of the great grounds of English football, and they moved to the Olympic Stadium. Was that difficult, that transition? Because you're going from a very small stadium, the fans are on the pitch, to a big Olympic bowl. Was that difficult for the players?
Yeah, it was. It was for the player, for the fan as well. If you are asking any West Ham fan right now, they wanna say we love Upton Park. So as a player, I love it at the stadium. But for the club was a good step forward to increase also the fans that are coming to the stadium, because they double the capacity, Neil. And to be fair, if you give me the two choice, I chose Upton Park because it's a proper English stadium from Premier League. I think all the team that came to Upton Park start like, oh, this is a difficult one. Doesn't matter the team that you play against, but it's a difficult one. So now London Stadium have different kind of quality. It's massive stadium, have many facilities for the fan as well around. So I think it was good for the club, but for the feelings of everyone at Upton Park is in our memory forever.
6 years at West Ham United. What is your one favourite memory of being a Hammer in that time?
I know I have great games playing there, but could be for an unusual moment for the goalkeeper when I scored the penalty against Everton in that round in the FA Cup. Was strange because normally the goalkeeper, we don't have the time to strike a penalty.
But goalkeepers always in training want to take penalties. Every single time, every goalkeeper you ever meet, I'll take the penalties. So yeah, this was a dream come true.
We know the tricky between goalkeepers. So yes, I was expecting to finish the game early. But when they start scoring, we save, I save, Joel save, they miss, we miss. So was draw until the end. And Joel also now is playing for Real Betis in my ex-team. We look at each other like, oh, we're going to have to our moment now. Huh? And obviously he shoot before me. He was really nervous. He smashed the ball in the crossbar. And after that, so that moment was there in my mind forever. No, when I throw my glove off, it was like a instinctive action because I say my job in goal is finished. Now I have to enjoy my ball, the shoot like a striker, and score that penalty. So it was like this, and everyone at Upton Park in that night was happy.
So that's a great moment for West Ham. At the end of your West Ham career, there was the game against Wimbledon, losing the AFC Wimbledon in the FA Cup. Everybody is an ex-player. You play for a big club and you lose against a smaller club, and it feels very hard. I remember watching the criticism of the team on that day. When you went back into the dressing room, having lost 4-2 against AFC Wimbledon, give us an idea of how difficult that was in the dressing room amongst the players to receive that criticism.
Yeah, to be fair, we are the first one, like a player, criticism for ourselves. So we knew we didn't play well in that moment. I think we didn't respect them from the beginning. And in football, like in life, you can feel better than nobody because they run as we run, they shoot on target like we shoot, and they have the luck to score first and to feel even more confident. So for us was a very hard game because of the mentality of the team there. Nobody expect that West Ham could lose a game there, but show us like we need to learn from this mistake, that you can feel better than the other team before, or because of the paper, because of you have more a big name than the other. So it's a good learn for us like a footballer, and also for everyone like in life, no?
So you get to the end of your contract at West Ham United. Do you have a conversation with them to extend the contract? Were you going to go back to Spain? Because now this story develops just before coming to Liverpool, of that you're out of contract. So what was the situation in summer 2019?
Yeah, the situation was clear. We start negotiating the new contract from the beginning, from the pre-season, and we didn't have agreement because of the contract. And then the season start. Pellegrini decided to start playing with Fabianski. I lost my role like a number one keeper from the last other season. So it was quite hard for me because, you have to change your mentality, change your role in the team, like helping the other from the bench. I never stopped working hard to get my opportunity, but I didn't have a game in the Premier League. So it was a really hard season for me. And finishing my contract and having no agreement with the paperwork was like a decision for myself. Say, listen, it's time to change. I spent a great time here playing for West Ham for the last 6 years, but now it's time to move on and to move to another place. I didn't know where, but I decided this to finish my etap in West Ham career. No?
And were you expecting to go back to Spain or Italy or France? Were you talking to... What happens with a footballer when they finish their contract at one club? They don't have a club. What happens? Do you train on your own? Do you train with a club? Do you go back to Seville? What did you do in the summer?
We have few offers when the season was finished at the end of May, but I knew waiting and being patient will be better options to sign. No? So I think it was the best thing from me in that moment, to be patient.
Is that not scary though? Because usually in football we know
totally.
You go from one club, another club buys you, another club buys you, and your career is finished. And it's very unusual to get to the end of 5 years at one club and to wait.
Yeah.
And to wait and to wait again. So did that make you anxious or were you confident?
To be fair, I have this nervous inside of my body from the end of the season, obviously. But I'm quite calm. So I trust in my career at West Ham. I trust that I did well. So good option will come. So I have the option to continue at West Ham, but I decide no. So it was my decision, and every decision after that will be fine for me. It doesn't matter to play in La Liga, to play in Italy, or to go to Turkey, because it was my decision and the decision that I wanted. So
where were you training? Were you training on your own? Do you have a personal trainer? What happens?
I enjoy the holidays. That's nervous in myself, but when July start, all the team starting the preseason. So I call my goalkeeper coach that I used to train with him in the academy of Real Betis, and now he's a good friend of mine. He was on holidays as well, so I tell him, Pedro, I need to start training. Are you available to train me and with some friends to help us? I say yes, and we have the facility of a lower team in Seville, Pilas,
yes.
Unión Deportiva Pilas. So they give me the key of the stadium the first day. So I was training any day, in the morning, in the afternoon, the night. So it was a difficult situation because I was training just to get in fit, but I knew in a moment I didn't know when, but someone gonna call me and say, look, we have the option here, and we have to sign and be ready.
So you're training for a lower league team in Seville. You're fit, you're healthy. When did you find out that the European champions wanted to take you to Anfield?
It was at the end of July, because even Jurgen say when they won the champions, they were happy with the goalkeepers and the team, and they don't need to change anything. So we didn't have that chance and that opportunity in the beginning of the summer. So we start moving around the transfer market. We have few good options to back to Spain, another to go to Mexico, Turkey, and other different countries. But at the end of July, my agent called me in the afternoon one day, and she told me, Adrián, Liverpool just called me. They have an option to sell Simon, and you are the first option for them. Did you say yes?
Stop there. How do you feel?
So I feel a bit in shock because from training in the morning and non-league or a lower league
Deportivo
team.
Pilar in Seville. The phone call comes and all of a sudden your brain is thinking, Liverpool, you'll never walk alone, the cop. Incredible.
Yeah, to be fair, it was an easy decision for me. I said to my agent, stop all the negotiation. We have even the document on the tables. But I say, stop it. And we're gonna listen them and show me the proposal. But I was clear that something normal is coming. I'm gonna sign for Liverpool for sure.
And when was the first time you spoke to Jurgen Klopp? Because we know now that football clubs, whether it be the director of football buying players at many clubs, and that's the norm now in not just in Europe but in England. But of course, a relationship with a manager is very, very important. You want the manager to want you at that football club. When was the first conversation with Jurgen Klopp?
So we have the first one at Melkul. We were waiting in a room to Simon make officially the step moving to Bruges, and after that we could do it officially to sign here. But we did all the paperwork, so I just met him for first time. He gave me a hug like a best friend and know for a long time. And
does that matter when a manager is, because he has this, when I interviewed him at the beginning of the season, when everybody sees him, he has a big smile, a big personality. Is that important still for a player to feel wanted?
Yeah, it's really important. You know, in that moment of the life, they are manager, we are the player, but we are fighting for the same club and for the same target. So we need to be obviously different level, but we are fighting together. So the manager show us every day, and for me, in the first time that I met him, that he want me, and he told me, I trust you, I have confidence in you. Even before that happened, all the stuff later when Ali got injury and that's and all of them. But from the beginning, when I met him, was great. Like, okay, I have all the confidence from the manager from now.
What did you find when you walked in the dressing room at Melwood and at Anfield? Did you find a group that were hungry? They just won the Champions of Europe. Got fantastic attacking players, fantastic goalkeeper Alisson, that is a good friend, I'm sure, as well. Great defenders like Virgil van Dijk. When you walked into the dressing room, did you see a very competitive environment? Yeah,
very competitive and very unit dressing room. Was the first feeling that, the footballer, we have different egos. Sometimes we are egoist. But in the dressing room, everyone feel like good friends. And this happen also on the pitch. So you are working together. You are spending long time training together. And I didn't see nobody have a bad face with another player. So that made me feel like, oh, this is a great dressing room. We have big name, but we have big person as well, no?
39th minute, Norwich City. First game of the season. Firstly, what did Jurgen Klopp say about the season? Did he say, look, Alisson is my number one, you're coming in as number two, and you're going to play FA Cup games, League Cup games? So what did he say to you in terms of what he wanted from you? And how did you feel making your debut on match day 1?
We didn't have that conversation with the manager, obviously, because I never feel like a second choice keeper. I always feel like a number one, fighting for everything and with everyone. As I show in my career at West Ham, many keepers came to the club, so I fight until the end to get opportunity. So to be fair, I knew that Alisson was playing here, and he did really well last season, and he won the Copa America with Brazil as well. So was the best keeper, no? And I have a big challenge, but I like this kind of challenge in my career.
And it's unique with goalkeepers because people think because you only have 2 or 3 goalkeepers that they're very competitive, but they also become very good friends.
Yeah. And also we speak like mostly the same language. He's Brazilian and Spanish, so we speak Brazilian, Portuguese, Spanish between us. But to be fair, that game was strange. It's not normal that a goalkeeper got injured the first game, the first half, in a strange injury because it was no big impact. Something was he was alone, and was my moment. Just Jurgen gave me the arm in my shoulder and told me, "Welcome to Anfield. This is your time." So that's it. Obviously, I have that nervous inside, but it was not my debut in Premier League. I played many games with West Ham. It's a different scenarios, different kind of pressure. But I was happy to enjoy the moment. Obviously, not happy because Ali got injured, but football is like this. Even the life is like this. When you have the opportunity, you have to do your best and show how you are. No?
The magical thing about football is things can happen very quickly. You know, Trent Alexander-Arnold is a Scouser. He's from this city. And now he's a European champion. And he may go on, as you all may go on and win, and I hope that you go on and win trophies, more trophies this season. But within, you go from Deportivo Pilar.
Unión Deportivo Pilas.
Deportivo Pilas in Seville to playing in the Besiktas Stadium against Chelsea, that are the Europa League winners, in an all-English battle to win the European Super Cup. When you are facing Tammy Abraham in the penalties, does your mind go back 1 month to Deportivo Pilas and the hard work that you did? How did you feel after you made that save? And take us inside the mind of a footballer that has no club in July and then is lifting and kissing the Super Cup trophy in August. That's an incredible...
I have club in July, no contract, but yes, club.
But it's an incredible 4 or 5 weeks.
Yeah, it was like crazy. I remember that moment, like, I have no time even to think about many stuff around me. But in that moment, just I were thinking and remembering all the penalty that I saw Altroman shoot, the last 10 penalty that we analyzed with the goalkeeper coach. But in that moment, it's difficult to choose one of them because, you know, the player change side, you have a stronger side. This is a very important penalty, so maybe you just change it to another one. So, but I remember that Abraham normally strike to the left of the goalkeeper and even some of them to the middle. So I say, okay, I'm going to wait until the end and then I will go straight to my left. And I have that long right foot to save that penalty and to give the first title to Liverpool and to enjoy with everyone the first title with them.
What was your emotion?
So after that, I went to the post to take my special towel quick because there is all my family. It's a gift from my family. I take this. I just slide my knee on the floor and just waiting. All the teammates, even the manager coming, even the fan that jumped from the crowd that injured me coming. I didn't see him, but he was coming from the halfway line. So to be fair, it's a great memory. I'm gonna remember this all my life because the first one was just after 1 week to sign with Liverpool. I have few training with the lads before. Was massive.
How does it feel being a Liverpool hero already? It is one of the world's great football clubs. I had 2 fantastic years, scored goals with Robbie Fowler and Steve McManaman that, of course, went to Real Madrid and a fantastic team, but we didn't win things. You've won something already. You've saved a penalty to help win that trophy. How does it feel driving around the city of Liverpool and people going, "All right, Adrián, lad, how are you?"
It's the best feeling, to be fair. Come to a new city, to a new club, and start my career with Liverpool like this. I couldn't imagine much better than this one. Even I spoke with Dudek after the game, so it was similar situation there in Istanbul as well. He saved the penalty. I saw a few pictures between us, like the same. So it's great to have that feeling, to be fair. It's a great memory. Football is just now, and everyone remember the past, but it's gonna get a small piece in the heart of every Liverpool fan, for sure.
And finally, Manchester United at Old Trafford coming up this weekend. A chance for 18 consecutive wins. Of course, Alisson is back in the frame. We don't know who's going to be in goal for Liverpool at the weekend. But 18 consecutive wins, which would be an English all-time record. Is that added pressure for the team going to the biggest rivals? Or is the team very confident in every game that they play?
We are confident and we trust on our team. But obviously, as I say, we can't feel the best team because of we are Liverpool and we are a good run in the Premier League from now. No? We have to win on the pitch. We have to show that this great run is continuing, and we have to show that we want to beat that record. Obviously, it's not easy. If you see all the Premier League game, it's not easy to win. It's not easy to keep a clean sheet, to score goals, because every time is even more competitive. But we have a great game in Old Trafford. Obviously, it's a big one. They are not in the best moment, but it doesn't matter. It's a different game. They're going to show their fans. They want to win us, and we go there to try to win the 3 points.
Adrián, all it leaves me to say is mucha suerte.
Muchas gracias.
Viva Liverpool y viva Betis.
Ole.
Ole. Ole. And thank you very much for joining me on The Last Word with Stan Collymore.
You're welcome. It's a pleasure for me. Thank you.
The Last Word with Stan Collymore.